Hello and welcome. I am Sky Class and this is Villa de Merlo in the San Luis province of central Argentina. Not to be confused with Merlo, the suburban neighborhood outside of Buenos Aires. And if you looked at it on the map, you'd think it might be Villa de Merlo or Villa de Merlo. In English, it would be Villa. In Spanish, it would be Villa. But here in Argentina, the Argentinian dialect of Spanish says Villa de Merlo. But sometimes just called Merlo here. And this is the central square of the town. Most of the towns and villages in Argentina, or everyone that I've seen so far, is built around this kind of central square. And usually you get some of the better businesses right around the square. But not too busy today because we are at siesta time. It's quite hot and usually year round all the businesses are closed at this time for everyone to take their nap or recuperate or at least just get out of the heat. Some really nice restaurants behind me there. One of them Vanessa really likes, that's serving a lot of local food, and then a really nice cafe over there. Balcarce, I think I'm always pronouncing it incorrectly, but I thought I'd take you on a little stroll through the center of Merlo and show you what kind of a town it is. So really interesting place, actually. If I turn around this way, from here you can see the mountains that border one side of Merlo right up there. And as Vanessa puts it, about 25 years ago, actually we did a tour and found out about this, but about 25 years ago they built, or actually they paved the road that goes up to the mountains, and this became more of a tourist spot. But the town itself actually goes back over 230 years. The original settlers here were building the town, and there's a lot of history here. But there's some other really cool things, and like I said, for about 25-30 years now, it's really become a tourist spot here in central Argentina. More than anything though, for more of like retired locals. There's a casino here. Every day we see a lot of tour buses coming in from all around the country, and they tend to be more of the elderly. So yeah, a bit of a different clientele than, you know, the backpackers of Southeast Asia and things like that. Another really good cafe right behind me there. I'm gonna try to make my way down the streets. I didn't think it'd be too busy, but it looks like school just got out or something, because quite a few teenagers walking around now. But hopefully, I'm also wearing my sandals today, and that might be a mistake because these streets can be a little dangerous. The pavement's not always smooth, and I trip enough wearing my shoes. So let's see how I do with the sandals. But yeah, very interesting little settlement here. I know about 20 years ago, the 2001 census said that there were about just over 10,000 people living here. Now I think it is several times more than that. I'd guess 40,000, but the new census was just done this year, so I'm not 100% sure what the current population is. So yeah, that was the central square of Merlo, and now we're heading down to kind of what's the main street in Merlo. A lot of these antique shops, vintage stores, really nice little bookstore there. Some nice cafes, but like I said, it's usually more of an older crowd for the tourism here, so you don't have a lot of co-working cafes. And one of the biggest things that I've been running into here is the internet is not good. In fact, I finally found a good internet place just yesterday after being here for over a month. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. But yeah, we came here shortly after we arrived in Argentina. Vanessa was born in Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, but she moved here and lived here for 8 years with her mom and family. And this is definitely what she calls home, other than living with me in Scotland. So we came down after 3 years of her being away to see her family again and catch up, and so she could show me the place that she calls home. So yeah, I had some very nice excursions here. we went off, we were here for, I think, a little over 3 weeks. And then we went off to explore the north of Argentina, down to Ushuaia and Cordoba. I went to Mendoza while we were here. We went there actually for my birthday for a couple days. And now we're back here for about 2 weeks before we go to Iguazu Falls and then back to Edinburgh. Almost 3 months here in Argentina. So, very interesting town with all the tourism, all the tours that come here. And very interesting layout of the town as well. The town kind of started in this center and then spread out to different neighborhoods up in the hills. There's I always forget the name. It's like Alto East. It's the high part of the town in the east side. Up on the side, kind of a more exclusive part of the town. Vanessa's mom lives in a part called Piedra Blanca, which is just to the north, kind of also a fancier growing part of town. You know, slowly getting around to paving all the streets there, and at least in the center here you have mostly paved streets. But even if you could just go down these streets, just a couple streets away, you'll get down to some unpaved dirt streets. And a lot of hotels here. Kind of a disproportionate number of hotels compared to, this small town. You wouldn't necessarily find this in a lot of the other small towns and villages around Argentina. But like I said, this is really a resort or retreat town. So a lot of places to stay. And the town is kind of built on a hill. So as you can see here, I am walking uphill. Behind me, just about half a mile down the street, is kind of the entrance to the town. There's a big roundabout there, the big gas station, the tourism office. Those are all at the beginning of the town. That's not the center, that's the entrance. The center is the central square I just showed you. The smell of, I think it's the smell of acorns. There's a lot of foliage here, and it's been very dry, but we've had a lot of rains. In fact, it was supposed to be raining right now, but I found that I could talk about the weather in not Ushuaia, that's where I just was. The weather here in Merlo. So I can talk about the weather here in Merlo, and it tends to be quite warm. They say it has a microclimate, and I saw something online that said that there's nothing to actually back up that statement, but it is usually quite warm here. I don't think it snows a lot in the winter. You have to go down to Ushuaia, the bottom of Argentina, for that. And today it's supposed to be up to about 30 degrees Celsius, which is about almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So a bit of a hot day today. And but I don't think the thunderstorms are going to be coming until later. It does almost look like it's raining at the top of the mountains up there, though. So a lot of gift shops, a lot of places you can get alfajores, the Argentinian pastries, basically some chocolate or dulce de leches or something inside a couple soft cookies, biscuits kind of things. And sorry, the biscuits is the UK terminology coming out of me living in Edinburgh. But cookies. And also a huge number of helado shops, gelaterias or ice cream parlors. There's a really good one called Iceland, which is actually a small chain in Buenos Aires, and they happen to have one other branch in the country here in Merlo. There's a couple other ones up the street, but I don't remember their names, so I will point them out once we get up to them. And Vanessa was really surprised, having been gone for 3 years, and how much the town changed. This big building over here is kind of like an fun park for kids. There's you know, foosball and air hockey and games in there, and that's completely new from when she was living here 3 years ago. They did a really big upgrade on the shopping mall next to that with the Merlo sign. Just about to come up on the right-hand side here is a little fun park, which is open, I think, more just in the evenings on the weekend. I haven't actually really seen it functioning since I've been here. And this is like a little artisanal market, which also is open in the evenings. Like I said, most things are closed at this time of the day for siesta time. Yeah, we've had meals at quite a few of these different restaurants. There's a nice little street food truck over there selling different meals, sandwiches, burgers, things like that. Here is the fun park I was mentioning. A lot of different games, little 4D or 5D attraction. But like I say, I don't usually see it operating. Well, I don't think I've ever seen it operating. And then next to that's another little fair. Here's another really good cafe. If you're looking for like a good breakfast, is Tokyo Dulce. And I've been there quite a few times for meals and working online. Their internet's usually pretty good, not always the best. And this is Freddo, another chain. Next to that is the Holistic Center where Vanessa used to work. Sorry, I think I might have started to tilt the camera there. This place just opened up last month, the Crepe Factory, and they advertise crepes, wraps, and bagels, but they don't have wraps and bagels right now. It's just crepes. Pretty good. They're gluten-free crepes, and that was a very loud motorcycle. Not nearly as good as the gluten-free crepes at Tepiniquim's in Edinburgh, but still quite decent. Yeah, some of the places are a bit more pricey, and as much as we like the good food, we also like to stick to a budget. So we haven't been to the Lennon Steakhouse yet, or a few other ones. We've also had some good recommendations. Tonight we're going to a tea house. I think it's called Chanes, which is up by Piedra Blanca, up in the hills there, and very highly rated. So I'm excited about that. It's a bit of a tiring walk. And very shortly, I'm going to be able to show you an interesting feature of this and many other towns and villages here in Argentina. And that is essentially the irrigation system. And we're almost up to the point where I can show you that. In terms of budget travel, you know, they say that Argentina is definitely a cheap country, and it is. But Merlo is, well, you know, it's a resort town, elderly retreat kind of place. So not as cheap. In fact, the gas prices here are some of the most expensive I've seen in Argentina. It's about 70 cents per liter, excuse me. So about maybe about $3 per gallon, which is, I mean, down in Ushuaia where it's subsidized, the gas is about 30% less than that, 40% less. In the north, it was about 10% less than that. So, yeah, the food here has been pretty expensive. If you go up to like Cordoba or other places, you're gonna find cheaper meals. But some of the hotels, like we just passed by the Clima 3 resort, and they were advertising rooms for just over $13 a night. Then again, I'll point out a place. There it is, right across the street. Morengo. Morengo is another very good heladeria. Very similar to Iceland, and countless flavors. I mean, they have like, I don't know, 3-4 dozen flavors there. We've had 10 or 15 of them so far. I'm almost to the point where I don't want to eat any more ice cream, helado. I'm putting on a bit of weight here. But yes, down the street just yesterday, I found a fantastic place, easily the best hotel here in Merlo, called the Epic Hotel, and very good internet, really good food, best breakfast. There's a breakfast buffet for about $5.50. You can get bacon and eggs and pastries and many different juices and cereal and all kinds of stuff. But this is another feature I wanted to talk about. These are the irrigation canals, irrigation system of the city, and basically all the streams up in the mountains are diverted down these little waterways for the cities in Argentina. You see that a lot in Mendoza. You know, they use it for the wineries out there. But same thing here, you have these little canals bringing the water down out of the mountains into the city. So really interesting feature. This is the casino that definitely draws a lot of people in town. The elderly, and haven't actually been there once since we've arrived. Not my kind of thing. I gamble in other ways. Slot machines is not my thing. But some other good places to eat, quite a few good places to eat just around this area. There's the Valhalla restaurant, which we actually haven't tried, but they are highly rated. We haven't tried this one either, which is highly rated. The Esquina de Sol, and next to this orange building coming up is called Don Ricardo, and we have been there quite a few times. Really good food. And then further up on the left-hand side is the Bonafide, decent cafe, not a lot of food options, but a good place just to relax and meet up with people. And then next to that is the Iceland helado I was mentioning, just behind the tree there. You can't actually see it, but then this place is really good as well. Africa, some great food. We've been there a couple times. And then La Bonita for some really nice Mexican food and really cool design. Really old house. I think the house is like over 100 years old, Vanessa was mentioning. But yeah, that's another really cool option. So this is about the end of the main parts of Merlo. Definitely some other excursions you can do to the northwest of here. Just a few miles away is a very old tree. I don't remember the name, but the tree is over 1,000 years old, and that's a major attraction here. Of course, going up in the hills, there's some excursions that go to the very top, and it's like high desert up there, and there's some nice streams and little ponds and things you can visit. Horseback riding up there, some good excursions. To the south of here, there's a little reservoir you can go zip lining at. Yeah, so this is the Iceland, connected actually to Tokyo Dulce. I think it's the same company. Just head back down here because we're actually staying at a little Airbnb very close to that Epic Hotel I was talking about. Right, I wouldn't say in the center of town, but in a very good location. And just wish they had better internet here. That's what I'm struggling with the most. I have no idea how long this video will take to upload. But I definitely like Merlo. I love exploring Argentina. This is my first time in South America, and I'm loving it. I want to see more. I had a very funny story when we were we're doing a road trip through the north of Argentina, and we got to La Quiaca, which is the town on the border, and we tried to get into Bolivia because I wanted to get to another country, and they wouldn't let me because I need a visa to enter Bolivia with an American passport. Apparently the president there said, well, if Bolivians need... I always have to watch out for music playing in the background because I could get a copyright violation on YouTube. But apparently the president of Bolivia said that if Bolivians need a visa to get into the US, then Americans need a visa to get into Bolivia. However, I can visit Bolivia on my UK passport without a visa, which I tried to do, but they said because I entered Argentina on my American passport, then I had to go into Bolivia with the same passport, which didn't make any sense, but I think they just don't like Americans visiting Bolivia. So yeah, that was out. So, but next week when we're in Iguazu, I plan to get to into Brazil and then hopefully Paraguay as well. Head across here, another really good restaurant, open at lunch and dinner time. Like I said, they close everything for siesta time, but Basta Lola, nice restaurant and a really, really nice terrace upstairs, which becomes very popular in the summer, I'm told. So yeah, still have to get to Bolivia. Google Maps says I went to Bolivia just because I was physically in the country at the immigration, but I don't think that counts for my list, for my count of countries. So, hello again. Hello. They've been there selling their local arts and crafts several days. And you don't see a lot of like street performers or things here like you would in Buenos Aires or other countries. That's why I say it's an interesting tourist destination. It's touristy, but doesn't feel that touristy. I mean, you get tons of tourists on the street, but you know, you don't have tons of attractions. In fact, across the street is one of about the only 3 like tour companies that I know of. Yeah, a lot of places also changing very quickly. Also hiring. This place is hiring. This place looked like a great cafe, but they were closed by the time I arrived, and now it's becoming like a pizza or pasta, some kind of Italian restaurant, which looks quite nice. If you're ever looking for a good cafe to work at in Argentina, you want to look on Google Maps for a Café de Especialidad. I think I'm saying that right, but it's like a specialty cafe. And usually there are a couple cafes here that call themselves that, but they don't really qualify. But the ones that are good, like they're going to have your avocado and bacon sandwiches and smoked salmon and really good coffee and also good internet. So if you can find that kind of place, that's what I'd recommend. This is my street, and yeah, Vanessa's probably about 2 miles up that way today with her mom in the garden, taking care of her grandmother's house, who passed away a year and a day ago. But I think I covered everything I wanted to say about Merlo. It's a place I would recommend visiting. You know, it's not Cordoba or Mendoza or Ushuaia or Iguazu, but it's unique. And if you're in this part of the country, you know, if like you're going from Cordoba to Mendoza, you can pass through Merlo. You can get here directly on buses from Buenos Aires and other cities. We took 3 different companies, Chevalier, Andesmar, and then finally Sierra de Cordobas, I think. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the last one was by far the best company. Yeah, and we have the executive bed going back to Buenos Aires next week, which I'm looking forward to because I've had some not so great bus rides here. Otherwise, there is an airport here in Merlo, but it can be more expensive to fly than taking the bus. So just go overnight on the bus, get a comfortable seat like the Sierra de Cordobas company, and enjoy the city. Make sure you get up to the mountains and have some of the local food. You're not going to find a lot of international cuisine here, even though there's a lot of expats, which is not like Chiang Mai, where you get a lot of expats serving their own local cuisine. That's not like that here. And yeah, put this town on your itinerary and enjoy what Central Argentina has to offer. Hey everyone, I hope you liked that video. Of course, if you did like it, please click the like button, and you can also subscribe to the channel for more videos. As you know, it definitely helps myself out and the channel. And if you click the notification bell, then you'll get notified for future videos on the channel. I definitely want to make a lot more videos. I do have a video planned next week for Iguazu Falls, and then when I get back to Edinburgh, I want to make a lot more of these videos just showing you around Scotland and Edinburgh and talking about different things, whether travel related or not. But and then next month I'll be in Morocco And yeah, I definitely hope this video has helped you with planning or just knowing about Merlo and Argentina in general. Two more things I actually wanted to mention. One is the dialect down here. And I started to mention at the beginning of the video with the SH sound for the double Y, which is usually an E sound in Spanish. After 2.5 months here, I am really still struggling. I can barely understand anything that's being said, even though I was doing pretty well down in Mexico last year. And yeah, like the to for you is not used here. A lot of different things, but it's not usually used. I can't figure it out. Just know that if you do know Spanish, you might still be struggling down here in Argentina. It's a very different dialect. And even this region of Argentina around Villa de Merlo, I was told, is even more difficult. It's what I call the Glaswegian, if you're familiar with Scotland and Glasgow. It's a very difficult English dialect. So just know that if you're coming here. And the next thing to know, earlier on, I had passed the Western Union by the main, not the main square, but there was a fountain and a little market there. And the thing to know about exchanging money here is you only want to use Western Union. Do not take money out of the ATM. Don't pay with a credit card. You're going to be losing a lot of money that way. Down here in Argentina, we have what's called the blue peso, and it's almost double what you'll get from the bank rate. But even more than that, Western Union, I believe, uses the liquid rate or something like that, which is slightly better than blue peso. A lot of different blogs and advice will say to use the there's a street in Buenos Aires where you can transfer or trade money, US dollars for the blue peso, but it can be kind of sketchy. I know someone who got robbed there. You can get scammed. So the better way is just to use Western Union and transfer money directly to you with a bank account, or just exchange money there, usually just US dollars, but they might accept British pounds or euros. The one thing I did learn though is they can run out of money, so check with them. Don't try to exchange too much money, especially in the smaller villages, and usually earlier in the day they have more money. You know, exchange in Buenos Aires or Cordoba or Mendoza or Ushuaia, bigger cities like that. But I definitely hope these tips have helped out, and you are planning a trip to South America or Argentina or Merlo. I'm definitely enjoying my first time in South America and Argentina, and hope to have you down here, and I'll definitely see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.